So, KRAVEN. KRAVEN the Hunter. We have got our KRAVEN in Aaron Taylor Johnson. And who's he going to be going up against? Well, ladies and gents, if the Illuminati are to be believed, which we'll get on to whether they're to be believed in a moment, it's actually the Chameleon. I really like the Chameleon. I think the Chameleon is probably Spider-Man's most underrated villain. It always captivated me in Spider-Man the animated series. I thought it was a fascinating villain. Like, genuinely a fascinating villain. I thought it was fantastic. So this is all coming out from the Illuminati. So I'll get to the report, and then I'll get to whether I believe them or not. Alright? So the KRAVEN production is currently undergoing a casting search for an actor to play Chameleon. Apparently. This is all alleged at this point in time. This is a villain in the upcoming solo film. Now, it's not... Upon first looks, you go, KRAVEN and Chameleon, why? They faced off against one another quite a few times in the comics, to be fair. So it's not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick, and I really like Chameleon anyway. But it's that initial, like, whoa, what? Why Chameleon? That's the thing that you need to get over, is the fact that they have actually faced off against one another. Anyway, there's been a cascade of news in 2021 for Sony Pictures as they reconfigure their film slate after the world stood still in 2020. Morbius has a new release date, and a lot of people are thinking it's in the MCU. Sony's actually come out and confirmed it's not. It's in Spider-Man's universe thing. So, God knows what that's all about. Whatever. While fans have already gotten their first look at Venom Let There Be Carnage, and in a new trailer, and according to rumours, the first trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home is right around the corner. It's not really rumours. They've been fueling it themselves. Like, let's be honest. They've been happy to fuel all of those rumours. Well, the lead casting for KRAVEN was a surprise. Aaron Taylor Johnson is a surprise. The Illuminati wanted to learn more about the project, and they now know who KRAVEN will be going up against, allegedly, in his solo film. Currently, Sony Pictures is targeting an actor in their 30s to play the role of the Chameleon. While we don't know if the Chameleon will be the only adversary for KRAVEN, we do know that he will have a significant presence in the film. Now, Chameleon. If you don't know what the Chameleon is, let me just give you a quick read off the Wikipedia, just to give a well-rounded view, I guess. He's an international hitman and terrorist that can disguise himself as anybody and copy their voice. In in Spider-Man the animated series, he pressed a little jewel on his belt, and that'd be how he did it, really. So the early life, the man that would become Chameleon was born in either the 1930s or the 40s. Take your pick. As a young child, Chameleon was orphaned and later adopted by the Nazi war criminal, the Red Skull. Chameleon was raised alongside Red Skull's biological son, Reinhold Schmidt. Red Skull later gave Chameleon a belt that projected a hologram around his body, allowing Chameleon to disguise himself as anybody. This device was called an image inducer. Red Skull then taught Chameleon how to use the image inducer. So basically became an assassin for hire, and he just kept going. Kept going. But I really do think he's a pretty underrated Spider-Man villain. I love this guy. He's so cool. In Spider-Man the animated series, he would work, it was namely like Kingpin that would get him. Like, oh yeah, working for Kingpin and stuff like this. I'm not massively up to date on his lore and canon and kind of what he does outside of all of those kind of things. I really only know him from Spider-Man the animated series. And I genuinely think he's fantastic. But let's get to this nonsense about the Illuminati. Right. So, let's say the Illuminati is very hit or miss. Very, very hit or miss. Now, I did a report earlier today about the Hellraiser reboot movie, right? And in that report, they had already... In their own report, because the Illuminati basically did the casting update for the Hellraiser reboot movie. And in their own report, they misquoted themselves with previous information that was pertaining to the Hellraiser series, not the reboot movie. So they were like, Pinhead's going to be gender swapped. It's not a gender swap anyway, FYI, because in the novella it was androgynous, but whatever. But they misquoted themselves because they're making... It was an article about the movie, and they're misquoting themselves as if it's going to be gender swapped in the movie, but it's not, because their original exclusive was it was going to be gender swapped in the series. So I don't know how much I trust the Illuminati, just based on that. That's a pretty monumental cock-up to have. Like, that's not small. That's That's pretty big. That's a pretty bad mess up to have. Like, genuinely. So I don't know how much I believe him. Or them, whatever. But they have faced off against each other in the comics. A few times. They work together. You know. Return to the hideout of Chameleon, where we find... And KRAVEN's there. So I don't know. I don't know how much I believe this. I think if this is true, this is cool. Because I like the Chameleon. But I just don't know how much I believe this is true. But then also as well, ladies and gents, I'm also thinking, ultimately, who else is KRAVEN going to go up against that, you know, that Sony are not going to want to release, or Sony are happy to release outside of Spider-Man? So they're making a Morbius film. I'm surprised that they would have done that, but I can see why. Jump on the vampire bandwagon, and also, yeah, it's a character that we can, you know, we're sort of riding off Venom's success, that sort of thing. Maybe we could get them to pair up in future, but whatever. The Chameleon's such an obscure character that I don't think a lot of people even know he exists. Not in, like, mainstream. You know, mainstream people don't know, and I'm fairly certain Sony would be looking at that character and going, could be an interesting individual for KRAVEN to hunt. A guy that's in disguise all the time. I mean, that's a pretty worthy hunt for KRAVEN the Hunter, isn't it? And that's the thing. You need to find someone that's worthy for KRAVEN to even have a film made about him. Because KRAVEN should be going up against Spider-Man. We know he's not. So in that, you know, in that vein, well, would he go up against someone like the Chameleon? Yeah, I could see that. And that's where I start to go, well, I don't overly trust the Illuminati, but logic dictates that there's going to have to be someone. I can't see KRAVEN going up against Scorpion. Why would he be hunting down Scorpion? Scorpion's like a villain that's just out there in the open all the time. But a villain that can disguise himself, that's a worthy hunt for KRAVEN the Hunter. I think, anyway. Like, again, I could be wrong. But who else? Who else would it be? And that's what I hand on over to you, ladies and gents. Who do you think would be a worthy adversary for KRAVEN if you don't believe this news? And if you do, please do let me know. Or any and all thoughts down below in the comment section. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. If you stayed this long, you know, please do hit subscribe. You clearly like the video. And do hit that like button on your way out. But thank you so much. Take care.